Hello, I'm going to give you a sneak preview of all of the work we've been doing on the barn, so stay tuned. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hanson. I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of what we've been doing with the barn. We've got all the siding up. You can see those videos on me building the substructure, which is the the foundation. The pigs are screaming for food. So we've got all of the siding up. The family helped me with the siding. Becky and I worked a little bit on the interior, so we'll be showing that video also, putting the interior together. And also Becky and Jaymi and Jeremy have been helping me put the rafters in and putting the roof together. And that's what this sheeting is in the background, is the roof panels. We still have the tar paper to put on, and the green metal sheeting that goes on the roof, and then I'll be applying those solar panels. And the solar panels have arrived to place on the roof of the barn, so that will be yet another video. This is that cabinet I'm putting in the barn, and this is going to contain the medicines and other stuff in the shelves above, and below is going to contain the batteries and the inverter, because the door I have for it is a nice louvered door, and it'll be able to give it plenty of ventilation. I'm going to put different hinges on it on the side there, but I decided to go ahead and paint it yellow. This is that cabinet I got from that estate cleanup. As you can see here, I pulled this picture out of my archives and decided it's metal. It'll be usable out here because frankly my wife just did not want it in the house, so I found a better use for it out here in the barn. You can see the back of the barn is a little messy and unkempt because I have been busy except for today. It got 102 degrees up here on the homestead, so I didn't want to do any activity up here and risk sparking a fire, because that's one of my main concerns, is having a wildfire break out. That's a bad thing for out here. Anyway, I gotta get these guys fed. I'll be right back. Oink, oink. Come here, girl. Here you go. Here. Everybody's getting fed tonight. I got a mess right here, too. Okay, now that we got the beasts fed and they're content and it's a little bit quieter over here so I can talk to you, let's go take a look and I'll show you what's been happening inside the barn. I put two doorways here because I've got that rail system I'm going to be mounting up here for two sliding doors. Each door will slide away from each stall because there's going to be two stalls here instead of the window, because oh, that was a horrible, sad, sad day. When the barn was burning, I tried to reach in here and grab the piggies and bring them out for the window that was here, and I couldn't get them. And it was just heart-wrenching to have to turn around and walk away from it and just go into the house. The fire was contained to the footprint of the barn, thank God, but it was just, it's a day we'll never forget, and a day I'll never forget. That still haunts me to this day. So that's why I'm putting sliding doors in the back instead of windows. We have one window on the barn, and we'll have sliding doors that, God forbid, if another fire should break out, which I'm going to try to design the barn where that's not going to be a chance of fire in the future. The doors will be able to slide open and let the livestock out, and I won't have to have that. Oh, that fear of losing livestock again. That's horrible. Anyway, as you can see, we got the indoor, all the walls, the inside walls are sided. Becky and I will show you those videos, but I wanted to point out I've got all this installed. This is the solar powered stuff, and that will be another video. My wiring is installed, so as you can see, I've got to do this in steps. I got to put a wall in, put a wire in, put some sheeting up, finish the wiring, and you know, put the photovoltaic system in, and then you know, do some other stuff. It's just been, I can't do one thing till I do another thing, and I can't do that until I do something else. So that's the way it's been going with building this barn, and I'm doing it with no plan because I've got it all in my head, and I think a lot about what I'm doing, each process I'm doing before I do it. So all that's left to do, as you can see right here, is I put my joists in for my loft. I'm going to be building my captain's, or my ship ladder. It's kind of like a stairs ladder. I'm going to be putting a ship's ladder in here style. The 2 stalls. I'm installing the cabinet over here. It'll go right here. It only goes this high because these things will be above the cabinet on top of it. So that will be able to be a nice place for it. And I've got also down here the wires and the communication cable coming out that'll go into the lower part of that cabinet to access, you know, to where it hooks up to the battery and the shunt. And the shunt is the communicator, which actually causes this thing to communicate, and this is your battery monitor. So remember, this video is just a sneak peek of what we've got done so far. I'll be processing and producing the videos once I get each of them done, and each video will be one on the interior, and you'll be able to see that all inclusive. There'll be one video showing nothing but the wiring and the installation of these devices behind me, as well as the solar panel and the operation of that. And then of course there'll be another video showing the assembly of all the roof assembly and the rafters. We'll incorporate all that into one video. But I'm giving you guys a special sneak peek. And hey, I wanted to show you guys something. While I was perusing eBay, I was looking for some special lights. And these are RV lights, also RV marine lights. They're very low profile. And they're LED. They run on 12 volt. So I will not need to use an inverter for these. They have this little light cover for them, and they mount, you see the screw holes right there, they mount flush right onto the surface. And that's what these paddle switches will be for, the different lights. This one will be for the front porch light, this one will be for the main lights in here. I'll have 4 lights over the main area and 2 lights over, one over each stall. And I'll have 2 lights also over the back porch area. So you can see there's a lot going on out here as far as the barn goes. We're having to take our time on the barn though, because I'm thinking through each process, and also I want to include the family in on helping me build this barn for 2 reasons. One is I want to be able to spend some quality time with my family, and number 2 is I want to be able to pass down to my children some building skills that they don't have, and it's one of those priceless things as a father you can pass on to your children. So that's kind of why we're taking our time on the barn, and that's the main reason why I'm taking my time on the barn. And number 1 is I do not like working in the heat. It has been hot lately. And by the way, that air conditioning I installed on that bunny bungalow is working great. The rabbits are nice and comfortable. My piggies have been staying cool by soaking in the big swimming pool. And this guy is really funny. He is so happy when I fill his mud hole up with water. He just wallows in that. You can tell he's all muddy. And that's a way a pig can stay cool, because they do not have sweat glands. So this is what it really looks like behind the scenes here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm on getting everything, all the tools strung out. It is a mess. It is a mess. And the geese and the ducks, they just head to the pond to stay cool. The chickens, they head under the barn or into the blackberry bushes to get cool. But anyway, this is behind the scenes. And then this is my way of showing you guys how transparent I'm willing to be with you. This is real. This is real life. When the barn's complete, that whole area will be cleaned up. And there's the geese going back down after dinner to the pond. And this is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm, a modern homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. Some of you may be wondering where I got some of my building skills and wiring skills. Well, when I was in high school, sophomore and junior in high school, I took a class on electricity, so I understood and learned about the basics of electricity, and we did some stuff in that class. And another class I did construction cluster, where our high school would go out buy some land and we'd buy the building materials and we'd go out and build a house from clearing the land. We'd hire out to have the land cleared, and we'd have it surveyed, and we'd build that house from the ground up. So I learned foundation work, cement work, floor joists, flooring, framing, rafters, drywall. I learned the whole gambit and paid special attention to the plumbers and the electricians, because electrical is what I mainly was interested in. So that's where my skills came from, and also through the years I may watch and observe how new buildings are being built, and I also had purchased some books on building and construction and things like that. I gotta get my new snippers because the other ones burn up in the barn fire, and trim this back. It's taking over. But I want to thank you guys for joining me on my vlog here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. Please keep leaving the comments, liking my videos, and also sharing my videos really helps us out a lot. The chickens have been busy. So we'll see you guys again in more videos. Bye bye. I'm gonna hard boil a bunch of eggs so I can have hard boiled eggs.